Pepsi, Coca-Cola, KFC, Muslims around the world are boycotting these massive brands. But why? And how effective are these boycotts really? How can boycotting these companies save the life of a Palestinian child? And what impact does this boycott have on Israel? The story of this Muslim boycott doesn't start here, but many years ago, with one of the world's greatest leaders, Nelson Mandela, who freed his country, South Africa, from white colonial rule and led the world's biggest campaign against racism, creating a state where there would be equal laws for both white and black citizens, human rights for all our citizens. After this, Nelson Mandela became famous worldwide, and America thought they could make him their puppet leader like other leaders. But Nelson Mandela was no ordinary leader. He had spent 27 years in prison and had struggled tremendously to reach this position, and controlling him was no easy task. When Nelson Mandela was at the peak of his power, he gave an interview where he clearly stated that it's not necessary that America's enemy should be our enemy. And going against America's policies, he said, "We want Palestine to be given its rights. It should be returned to the Arabs, because the Palestinians' struggle is just like ours, a struggle for freedom. They are fighting for the right of self-determination. This means on the Palestine issue, Nelson Mandela stood alone against the superpower America." But he didn't stop with this interview. A few years later, because of Nelson Mandela, a major global conference was organized in South Africa, the World Conference Against Racism. This conference had many items on its agenda, and every country in the world was invited. The purpose of this conference was to collectively raise voices against every injustice in the world, including Israel's oppression of Palestine. Seeing this, only 2 countries in the entire world opposed this conference and boycotted it, Israel and America. But the strange thing is that this conference started but could never finish, because this conference was held in September 2001, and just 3 days after it started, America was attacked. Now, this conference ended before it could even reach the issue of Israel, but there was one person who was very inspired by Nelson Mandela and his struggle, and he thought, why shouldn't all the Muslims of the world also start a big campaign against Israel's oppression? Omar Barghouti. Omar Barghouti believed that Israel should be boycotted. Actually, this word isn't boycott, but comes from a man named Charles Boycott. 150 years ago in England, he was a cruel businessman who oppressed his workers and took excessive taxes from them. Finally, one day, all these workers, fed up with Charles Boycott's oppression, tried to rebel against him. But Charles Boycott was such a powerful man that it was impossible for these workers to fight him. But they didn't give up. All these workers together made a plan against Boycott, that from today onwards, we will neither work for Charles Boycott, nor wash his clothes, nor cook food for him, and nor buy anything from him. This plan of the workers was so powerful that within a short time, Boycott fled from there forever to escape from them. This was such a powerful, peaceful protest that people everywhere in the world started using it. This protest was even named Boycott after Charles Boycott. The word boycott was gradually spreading around the world, but the best use of this strategy was made by a great leader, Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi used many methods to free India from British Empire slavery, one of which was boycotting the British Empire. Mahatma Gandhi ordered the boycott of British Empire textiles, schools, taxes, and even courts. Seeing Gandhi's strategy, many other people around the world started using this strategy. While all this was happening in India, suddenly the world's biggest war started in Europe, World War II. In this war, Germany's leader Adolf Hitler started killing European Jews, and the Jews didn't have enough power to fight such a dangerous person as Hitler with guns and tanks. So the Jews of that time learned from India's Mahatma Gandhi and asked Jews worldwide to boycott Germany. After this, Jews worldwide stopped buying everything from Germany. Jewish professors started resigning from German universities. Even German Jews started giving up their German citizenship. Among these Jews was the great scientist Albert Einstein, who, because of this boycott, left his German citizenship and university. Inspired by these people, Omar Barghouti started a global campaign to boycott Israel exactly 20 years ago in 2005, BDS. He appealed to people worldwide to boycott all of Israel's products against Israel's oppression, to boycott their companies, to force their companies to abandon illegal projects in Israel. But this boycott was only against Israeli companies, not against American companies like Coca-Cola, Pepsi, KFC. After BDS was formed, if we really look at it, it didn't have such a big impact on the world, and gradually over time people had completely forgotten about it. But suddenly, 2 years ago, once again the war between Israel and Palestine started. Israel's army entered Gaza and started martyring thousands of innocent Palestinians. In this war, Israel was not alone, but had the full support of superpower America, which gave Israel weapons along with millions of dollars. Of course, everyone knew that exactly this was going to happen because everybody knows the United States is a friend of Israel. But just 6 days after Israel's attack, a very strange thing came to light. Suddenly, one day on Instagram, an American company, McDonald's, announced in Israel that they would give free food to thousands of Israeli army soldiers, and every soldier would get big discounts at McDonald's in Israel. Similarly, some other big American companies also announced their support for Israel, such as Burger King and Starbucks. When Muslims and social activists around the world saw that Israel's army was taking the lives of innocent Palestinian children after eating McDonald's free burgers, and they had the support of the entire world for doing this, I love Israel, and even Muslim leaders were not doing anything to stop Israel's oppression, then when there was no other way, people themselves started the boycott BDS campaign again to put pressure on Israel. In this boycott, not only Muslims, but also Christians, atheists, and even many Jews are involved, Jewish support for BDS. And this boycott against Israel has become the biggest boycott campaign in world history. But this campaign is also somewhat controversial because today the world's Muslims are divided into two big groups. One group says there's no benefit to this boycott against Israel, and the other group says we must boycott Israel at all costs. People who are against this boycott say, what benefit has this boycott had so far? This boycott campaign has been going on for the last 2 years, and Israel has suffered no loss from it so far. In response, the boycott supporters say that there has been damage, and very big damage, and the biggest proof of this is that Israel has spent millions of dollars in the last 2 years to stop this boycott campaign, because they know that if Muslims' boycott ends, Israel will benefit by billions. Because since this war started, many big companies of the world have left Israel, the biggest company being Intel. Intel has ended its $25 billion deal with Israel because of this war, and this deal was the biggest deal in Israel's history. Not only this, but there's so much pressure on Israel that 46,000 companies have closed in Israel so far. If we look at Israel's total losses from this war, they amount to about 300 billion, and Israel has killed 46,000 Palestinians in this war so far, meaning Israel has suffered a loss of 5 million for every Palestinian martyred. Wait. If Israel is committing so much oppression on Palestine, then people should boycott Israel, not American companies. Pepsi, Coca-Cola, KFC, these are all American companies. What's their connection with Israel? The connection is that without the investment of these American companies, Israel has no standing in the world. Every year, billions of dollars are invested in Israel by these American companies, which keeps Israel's entire government, army, and economy running. But now the problem is that these American companies are spread not only in Israel, but also in 57 Islamic countries outside Israel, and 2 billion Muslims worldwide use these companies' products every day. Now, if all the Muslims of the world together gave a warning to these American companies that either your business will be with 2 billion Muslims of the world or only with Israel's population of 10 million, then when these companies see 2 billion on one side and only 10 million on the other side, they will have no option left and will withdraw all their investment from Israel, which has already started. Several global companies have pulled out their operations from Israel. This is all fine, but these American companies, Pepsi, Coca-Cola, KFC, McDonald's, have given jobs to millions of people in our countries, and if these companies are boycotted, then the jobs of these millions of poor people will be lost, meaning the biggest loss from this boycott will be to our own people. This point is correct, there's no doubt about it, but to understand this, we have to go back. In World War II, there came a time when Japan's empire attacked China and committed great oppression on the Chinese people and conquered a lot of territory. This was a time when China was a very weak and poor country. Nothing was made inside China to sell to the world, and China imported everything from the outside world. But after Japan's attack and oppression, China's people made a decision that from today onwards, we will make everything we need inside China ourselves. Because of China's boycott, gradually people started making everything themselves, which later got a very famous name, Made in China, which is spread all over the world today. So this point is absolutely correct, that if American companies are boycotted today, millions of people's jobs will go, but who knows, just like China, we might also start making our own companies instead of these companies, which is slowly happening because of this boycott. After Israel's boycott in Pakistan, Cola Next has become a very big company competing with Coca-Cola. And this is not just in Pakistan, but for the last 2 years in Malaysia. People have started going to their local company, ZUS Coffee, instead of the American company Starbucks. Because of this, ZUS Coffee has opened 360 branches in Malaysia in just 2 years. Similarly, in Egypt, people have started buying Bazooka fried chicken instead of KFC, which is now becoming a global brand outside Egypt. In Turkey, all 500 branches of KFC have completely closed, and instead people are promoting a local brand, City Chicken. And in Indonesia too, CFC has replaced KFC. This means that while millions of jobs are being lost due to the boycott of these American companies, at the same time, thousands of new jobs are being created due to these local companies becoming stronger, which benefits our countries more. Okay, fine, let's accept that this boycott has many benefits, but then why are you people only boycotting Pepsi, KFC, McDonald's, and only burgers and chips? Boycott every American company, iPhone, Microsoft, Facebook, and even YouTube, where people are watching this video right now. People who make this point clearly show that they know absolutely nothing about the history of boycotts, because there has never been a boycott in the world where people boycotted everything of the enemy. Take Mahatma Gandhi's example. When he boycotted the great British Empire, Gandhi boycotted their clothes, salt, courts and schools, but Gandhi never boycotted British Empire railways, medicine, letter sending services or British post offices, because he knew that by using these things of the British Empire as weapons, we could cause them more damage. Similarly, when Einstein boycotted Hitler, he left his German citizenship, university and lectures, but never boycotted German technology and remained connected with German scientists till the end, which means boycott never means foolishly boycotting everything, but only boycotting those things which benefit us and harm the enemy. After all these discussions, it seems to me that the example of this boycott is like if someone puts a Kalashnikov on my head to kill me, and I pick up only a stone to fight him. This point is absolutely correct, but my point is that if someone puts a Kalashnikov on my head to kill me, and I have no other option, then I won't even pick up a stone to fight him. History shows us that sustained strategic boycotts can create real change, from the Irish Land War to Indian independence to the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. The current boycott against companies supporting Israeli policies continues this tradition of peaceful resistance, proving that ordinary people, when united, can challenge even the most powerful interests.